fun video because I have a massive homeschool haul to share with you today. Got lots of curriculum, lots of books, mostly looking ahead toward our first and second grade-ish years to come in the future. Many of you who watch my channel regularly know that my family is homeschooling overseas, which can make it a little bit challenging to get supplies. However, we take opportunities when they present themselves. And a family friend was traveling here and was willing and generous to let us use up some of her luggage space when she flew here. So we always take advantage of these opportunities to order curriculum and have her bring it in. So I'm going to show you what all I got and have planned for the future. So first I'm going to show you some things from Gentle and Classical, and everything kind of came individually in these plastic folders. I've not ordered print from them for these products before, but these are issues of On Mission. They're magazine curriculum which focuses on different countries of the world. So this is something I wanted to get in print because I just felt like with the magazine style, you're not really going to get the most out of it when you're trying to, get a PDF and print it at home. So I'm glad I was able to get these in a printed format. And I got 3 issues because I am planning to use sequence 1 with my son when he's in first grade. And for right now, for my planning, I'm just going with what she recommends for sequence 1, which she schedules you to do 3 issues of On Mission for the school year. So you're learning about 3 different countries from around the world. And I picked one from Africa, one from Asia, and one from Europe. And supposed to do 3 of those, and then 6 morning virtues issues as well. So I ordered 6 morning virtues issues. If you don't want to know what I'm talking about when I say Gentle and Classical Sequence 1, I will link to the video I just recently made about that here on my channel, but it is kind of the big overarching curriculum that I'm planning to use for our first grade year. So a lot of my picks are tied into sequence 1, so you're going to hear about that throughout the video. Then this is bubble wrapped, so it's a little bit hard to see, but it came in a plastic folder and bubble wrapped. This is one issue of Morning Virtues, and I got 6 of these, so they each came individually wrapped and packaged, which will be really nice for organization. What these are is basically a morning time plan. So this is going to have your morning menu with a hymn and a poem and Bible memory work, and it's also going to have art prints, which was one of the reasons I wanted to get printed editions, just because I know my printer is not going to handle doing art prints all that well. There's a composer and a list of musical works you're supposed to listen to. So this will be our guide for morning time. And if you're interested, I will be doing a specific video giving a detailed look inside the Morning Virtues issues. So these are the 6 that I got. A whole handful of them. So we move from the riches of morning time to the 2 numbers, to math, core subjects. This is the brand newly released 3rd grade Math with Confidence. We just started first grade Math with Confidence, so we won't be in this level for a little while yet, but want to be ready, want to take my chance to get it while I can. So this is the teacher's guide. It is very hefty. That's one of the reasons I wanted a physical printed version versus a PDF, because printing out huge PDFs and trying to bind them doesn't always work that well. Then this is different, so I haven't had this before, but for 3rd grade, they're doing a student book A and B. So they split up their student books, probably to make them not so hefty for a book that you're picking up and using, or your kid is picking up every day. But they have part A and B, more worksheet pages at the 3rd grade level. And then I did also get the 1st grade and 2nd grade math workbooks, which I already have these. My son is currently using the 1st grade math workbook, but I wanted to get these for my younger son when it's his turn to be going through the workbook. And I bought these workbooks when Well-Trained Mind had their 40% off math sale, which definitely, look out for that sale as it comes up every year, because that makes these very, very inexpensive. And I'm happy we've loved Math with Confidence, and looking forward to using it with my second son too. Then a purchase from School Nest. You may have heard of School Nest. She creates lots and lots of notebook related resources for homeschooling. There's the logo on the back, but I got a history timeline notebook, and creating a history timeline with my sons is something I've looked forward to. And so I got the notebook because we'll be starting using a timeline in first grade. I don't really have an idea yet on necessarily where to get images that we'll use or like the pictures for it. So if you guys have any favorite resources for where you get what you put into your history timeline other than just writing it in yourself or drawing it in yourself, let me know if you have any favorite resources for these, because I haven't seen any that necessarily seem like, yes, this is it to me just yet. And when I mentioned on Instagram that we were having a visitor coming and bringing us stuff, someone actually messaged me, hey, you should order your next lesson planning minimalist notebook, because I'd already mentioned I was going to be sad when my current one ran out. And I responded back with, yep, it's already on the list. So I got a new planner from School Nest, also from School Nest. I used the planner from her this past year. I'm still currently using it. I'm going to use it until all 52 weeks are used up. I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. But she created a couple new covers and slightly new versions this year. So this one is a slightly new version. I don't know if you can see a little bit. There's a little bit more drawings inside. Slightly, I don't know, prettier a little bit less minimalist, I guess, as far as the drawings, but still not excessive on the number of pages. I liked this planner last year, just got a slightly different version, and we'll use that when I'm done with my current one. Then I picked up 2 books from the Come Look With Me World of Art series, exploring landscape art with children and art in early America. I was actually introduced to this series when I visited my aunt last year who homeschools, and she is nearing the end of homeschooling her children. Her youngest is in high school, but she's like, I'm not getting rid of these books at all. These are awesome. She loved these, and I was impressed when I looked inside them. They have artwork on one page, a couple of discussion questions, some background info about the artist and the artwork. It's just so simple, easy. And also when I pulled these out of the box, my son looked at this and said, hey, that's by Vincent van Gogh. And I'm just like, yes, it's working. But I found these very inexpensively on Thrift Books. If you are not shopping on Thrift Books, you should be. And I'll leave my link down below, my referral link, because this is where actually a lot of these books came from, and I typically try to find them for like $4 or less. A lot of these were probably $4 or less on Thrift Books, around that price range. Tends to feel like a good amount for me. This one has nothing to do with any curriculum. I just love Little Bear and am gradually trying to add to my collection. So Little Bear's Friend. This was, I'm like trying to build up my collection of early chapter book read-alouds, short chapter book read-alouds. I haven't done many chapter books yet with my young sons, but we're getting into that stage where we can start. And this had been highly recommended, A Mouse Called Wolf by Dick King Smith, also the author of Babe, and they love the movie Babe, so I thought I would try that one. Then this will go with our artist study from our Morning Virtues Morning Time Plan. One of the artists that we're learning about is Mary Cassatt. So I've never had a book from this series, Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists by Mike Venetia, but I've heard it highly recommended. So again, picked this up very inexpensively. Then see, this is where I'm going to talk about Sequence 1 a lot. This book I purchased for Sequence 1. This is scheduled as part of the literature, as well as this Fables book by Arnold Lobo. And both of them are like one-page fables with pictures, very, very, very short readings, but I think will be really fun and add a lot to our days. This is not necessarily a homeschool supply, but I just have to give honorable mention to a surprise that came in the box when I was unboxing everything, which was several bags of trolley sour gummy worms, which if some of you follow me on Instagram, you've seen I've been chatting about how my pregnancy cravings have a tradition of being very impractical, and I tend to revert to comfort foods that I know from America and ones that I cannot get here at all. You cannot find trolley gummy worms here. The gummy worms I've found have been not nearly so satisfying. So my sister surprised me by packing along a few bags of trolley worms, and I about cried when I saw these in the box. I was so happy, so thankful, but that was a fun surprise. Then more books for Sequence 1. A significant portion of the history in Sequence 1 focuses on early American history from settlers and Native Americans and the Revolution, and getting a little bit past the Revolution as well. So quite a few of these books are kind of on that time period. Hiawatha and the Peacemaker, Life in a Longhouse Village. All of these were like literally on the schedule for Sequence 1, essential books or like scheduled books. But I also got some extras, and I looked at Heritage Mom Blog's recommendations for this time period in history because I wanted to find a variety of books that kind of helped flesh out our understanding of this period of history. And one that I found from her recommendations was Amistad, the Story of a Slave Ship. And this is kind of designed as an early reader book or a young reader book, but these actually make very good read alouds, picture books as well. And another recommendation from her was Runaway, The Daring Escape of Ona Judge. So got some, and I think there might be a few more mixed in here. Then The Star Spangled Banner was also scheduled for Sequence 1. Yes, here's another recommendation from Heritage Mom Blog, Amber. Dear Benjamin Banneker. And I think Benjamin Banneker was, yes, writing to Thomas Jefferson. So this can tie this in when we're learning about Thomas Jefferson in our readings, and in that time period, I can tie in this story about his correspondence with Thomas Jefferson. This was just a book I bought because I was influenced. I saw someone else recommending it, and I knew my boys would love it. The illustrations looked really cool. They're like paper crafted. They're photographs of paper crafted birds and illustrations, and it's all about beaks and different kind of beaks and what they do. My boys love animals. They love detailed illustrations, so I thought that'd be a really just fun one for all of us to appreciate the art and science and beauty. More history. I was really trying to make sure that with this haul I would be all finished in completing all of the books I needed for history. I opted for the Columbus book by Demi. I have not read it before, but I had some very good reviews for being a truthful telling of his life. Another World's Greatest Artist series. Definitely look for this on Thrift Books because for a number of artists they were very, very, very inexpensive. Then I got a couple of Spanish early readers, not necessarily first readers. My son is just starting to read in Spanish, so it will take us a little bit of work before we get to this level. But Rafi y Rosy, and I believe that Rafi y Rosy are from Puerto Rico, if I remember correctly. We have one other book in this series, but you can see it is designed as an early reader, but it's going to take us a little while to get up to here and having all of the ability to read this vocabulary. But we'll work our way here. I'm planning for the future. None of this stuff pretty much is going to be used right now. And a little bit more history. We are going to have a very history-rich year with Sequence 1. Johann Gutenberg and the printing press. This was an alternate option, and it is in a graphic novel style, which I will say is not my favorite. I know a lot of people love graphic novels. I kind of find them hard to read, but this was the affordable option for a picture book on Gutenberg, and it's a great story. It's a great part of history, very important part of history. Then one more history book, The Town That Fooled the British, War of 1812. I think this is towards the end, around where we end up, War of 1812, with our history in that program. Then let's take a break from history for some science. I have 2 programs from Apologia here. We have Exploring Creation with Zoology 1, Flying Creatures. And so that's birds, but it's also bugs and bats, all the things that fly. This, I think, was brand new this year, this edition. They've had this year out, but they made a new edition of the book, so it's more styled to be like the rest of the textbooks. Lots of big, colorful pictures. And we also got the notebooking journal to go with it, which I think adds a lot. It's kind of very much designed as interactive notebooking style. There's a lot of cutting things out, writing things down, where you can make records of activities that you do. There's a few coloring pages. There's mini books. They like their mini books in Apologia. There are reviews called What Do You Remember for the end of each lesson, which each lesson takes a while to complete because there's only 14 lessons in a book. And we also got astronomy, which I think astronomy is supposed to be like at a lower level than the flying creatures one, earlier level. So maybe we'll do this one for first grade science. I have to look at these a little bit closer to know exactly what our plan will be. But we've never done anything with astronomy before, and I don't even think I really did anything with learning astronomy as a kid much, other than just memorize the planets. So I'm sure I will learn some things from this book. We have our notebook, interactive notebook, things to cut, things to write. If my son isn't really ready for a lot of writing by the time we're doing this, that's fine. Whenever you're doing notebooking with a younger child, you can always use the teamwork approach and just combine, have your child speak what they've learned, have your child say what they've learned, and you can scribe for them. And teamwork, building up all the necessary skills for being able to record what you've learned on your own. Solar eclipse mini book. This will be fun. All right, that is my mega haul. We've got science, we've got math, we've got the arts and the riches and lots of history, lots of fun goodies for homeschool in times to come. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel to see what all we end up doing with these resources. I'll be seeing you. Bye.